Mark Belling talking about this earlier in the week and saying, when did Halloween become an entire season? I don't know. When did It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown premiere on TV? Halloween has been a season for a while, and most people celebrate it not on Halloween itself, because this year it's on a Thursday. Okay, Thursday is a night people go out, Thursday night football and whatever. Thursday has become, especially on college campuses, a huge party night. But Halloween can fall on a Tuesday. Who feels like trick-or-treating or going out and having a big Halloween party on a Tuesday night? So it's always, and yes, I know, the biggest reason that we don't have trick-or-treating on Halloween night anymore is, of course, the Halloween murder. What was the killer's name? Boy, oh boy, I keep forgetting this. No, I won't. I remember the name. I remember the name. And you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to, following the Dan O'Donnell show policy about not glorifying any sort of despicable human beings who commit despicable acts of terror so as to do that. I'm not going to say the name, but I do remember who it was. It was a Halloween night killing, and then trick-or-treating was moved to the Sunday afternoon before, across the Milwaukee area, Sunday afternoon before Halloween, and a lot of communities have sort of gone back to nighttime trick-or-treating. A lot of individual neighborhoods will do it, and becomes a big neighborhood party that the parents go out with the little kids for trick-or-treating, and they have shots that they will take, or beers or whatever, at each house as the kids get their candy. So the big night, I think, is Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Is Milwaukee, is it still like 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, or is it 4? Oh, it's still Sunday. Milwaukee is still doing Sunday. Okay. Our community, 1 to 4, our community does 4 p.m. on Saturday. So you get the trick-or-treating as the sun goes down. So for about an hour, kids will be trick-or-treating in the dark. It's just, it's a really fun time. You know who's not having a great time? Libs today. To say they are freaking out over this national popular vote poll showing Donald Trump up 1, latest New York Times Siena College poll, would be an understatement. Jake Tapper on CNN yesterday, before this poll even dropped, talked with Wes Moore, who is campaigning for Harris here in Wisconsin, and, well, his question doesn't exactly engender a whole lot of confidence that Democrats really believe they can win this race.
So I hear from Democratic friends who are frankly terrified that Vice President Harris is not closing the deal. I'm sure you have even more Democratic friends than I do. What do you tell them if they reach out to you and say that they're worried about this election?
I would tell people that it's important that we get to work. The days of the hand-wringing are gone. And one thing we've seen is that as the vice president continues to make her point and deliver her message, she is converting people. I mean, and think about it. I think the other thing is we need to tell people, you cannot sit on the sidelines on this one.
Neither of them actually believe Kamala can win. And that's the biggest tell. There is no secret, quiet confidence that they'll be able to deliver as many fraudulent ballots or illegal immigrant votes as will be necessary to make up the margin that Republicans are bringing to the early vote. There is just abject terror. Harry Enton on CNN this morning.
May finally get his great white whale. Harris versus Trump national margin. You mentioned that New York Times poll, a tie. That's actually right in the middle of the spectrum when we're talking about recent polling data. You don't have to look very far to find Donald Trump ahead nationally. He was up by 2 points in the CNBC poll, up by 3 in the Wall Street Journal poll. Very close races within the margin of error. But then the same thing on the other side, right? You have Harris up by 3 points according to Ipsos. The Say 24 YouGov poll, it's a bunch of academics, also has Harris up by 3. But the bottom line is, with the popular vote, which we really haven't focused upon, a very, very tight race, John. Fact is, Donald Trump is very much in a position he could win the popular vote, which, of course, is something he would absolutely love to do.
And something he rather obviously has not come especially close to doing. In fact, no Republican has won the popular vote in 20 years. Only once since 1988 has a Republican won the popular vote. That was George W. Bush in 2004. What do you think the freak out on the left would be if the next guy to do it is Donald Trump? We will have updated 3-day results, the total number of votes cast in Wisconsin's largest early vote drive, next.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch-certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires. It's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Dan O'Donnell here. It's This Week with Annex Wealth Management. I'm joined by the CEO of Annex, Dave Spano, and we are now just days away, Dave, from the presidential election.
You know, you think about, Dan, what we've been talking about, that during the presidential election year, the market rallies into the hope that either side is going to win. And true to form, market's up 24% year to date. And, you know, the difference between these two candidates are so wide. You think about what stocks or what sectors will do better under each presidency, value versus growth. For example, you think about even Trump trades, you know, non-U.S. stocks versus U.S. stocks. Perhaps how does China react? Does NAFTA get reworked? Border security stocks. And ironically, the defense stocks are doing better when the Democrats have been surging. So really a lot going on here, Dan. And of course, you can't vote your politics. And it will be interesting that the last couple of elections were determined by 0.04% of the total votes cast. And so it's going to be close, folks. Let's take a look at it. And of course, don't vote your politics, because either way, the market has rallied into the election.
Yeah, this is why you always need to invest logically. Politics is inherently emotional, and you can't invest emotionally. You can't invest for the long term based on short-term political trends, or if the candidate you like wins or the candidate you like loses. That's why you need to go to annexwealth.com. Get a review of your portfolio. It's called a wealth metric. Know what you own and why you own it at annexwealth.com. For Dave Spano, the CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell. Thanks for listening to This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
Sendix is doing the extraordinary, offering a free gift card on Saturday, October 26th at any of Sendix 14 area supermarkets. Purchase a $100 gift card using your Red Bag Rewards number and get a $15 gift card free. A free $15 gift card you can give as a gift or use it to buy that special seafood item, bottle of wine, or home decor item. A one-of-a-kind customer celebration, a free Sendix gift card. This Saturday only at any of Sendix 14 area stores. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Hot summer night, lightning strike. Down goes the tree, right through their bedroom wall, nearly ruining a walnut headboard, which is pretty hard wood. Fortunately, the customers were okay. But the headboard? That wasn't. Until they called us. We made that Victorian headboard better than new. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing, repair, and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY Finishing.com.
D&M at your service.
See what I mean?
People know it. They get the D for your dad and the M, and we're at your service. What more do you need?
Help me out, Tim.
You know Tim doesn't talk.
Yes, he does.
Look, why don't we just have you say something in between D and M and at your service, and then say our website at the end.
Like?
D&M.
We're damn good.
At your service.
Told you he talks.
DMHeating.com.
A strong retirement plan should go beyond investments and savings. Hi, I'm Aaron Colwell of Colwell Investment Group, the retirement specialist. Our team of fiduciary advisors are here to help you retire well with our streamlined retirement process. Call today at 262-522-4040.
Happy Halloween weekend. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show, a tour de force of truth. And the unfortunate truth is that while former President Donald Trump, according to internal polling that I have seen, is doing very well here in Wisconsin, Eric Hovde is actually being hurt by the presence of a fake candidate by the name of Thomas Leger. Near as I can tell, Leger is a boomer buffoon. Best way to describe him. I apologize if you take personal offense at the name buffoon. If you do, that probably means you also are a buffoon. But everything I know about, he was tied in with this group of buffoons that was infiltrated by the feds and plotted to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Who would have guessed that it was the feds saying, hey, you buffoons want to kidnap the governor? Do you know how you can always spot a Fed in a group of buffoons? Chances are they're the ones who aren't talking like buffoons. So Leger he's just a buffoon. He has done nothing to actually campaign, and Democrats have just been paying to get his name on the ballot so that he can serve as a spoiler. Now, if this buffoon had any sense in his buffoon brain, which of course he doesn't because, buffoon, he would have seen right through this, but again, buffoon. He is running as a, quote, America First candidate. Now, why do you suppose this is? He's on the America First party. Why do you suppose that this is so effective that a buffoon who isn't even running even a buffoonish campaign has 1% of the vote, that is actually pulling 1% of the Republican vote? Because there is a segment of quote-unquote conservatives who I hesitate to call buffoons, but, well, yeah. Actually, I don't hesitate to call buffoons. They are the buffoon vote on the right. The buffoon vote on the left is, just picture an army of Tim Walzes. That's like probably, I would say 30% of the Dem vote is either mentally ill or buffoonish or some combination thereof. We've got a tiny sliver of buffoons on our side, but they tend to be the ones who say things like, I hate the Republican Party. The Republican Party is no different than the Democrats. The Republican Party is the party that doesn't want to put dudes in women's locker rooms. I mean, that's a pretty big difference, but you know the type, right? And as a result, outside of Trump and his America First, Make America Great Again agenda, they don't see themselves as Republicans. In fact, they hate the Republican Party, and ideologically, a whole lot of them align closer to the Democrats on economic policy, if not social policy. They just don't realize it yet. Remember, as I say, politics, the political spectrum is not a straight line. It's a circle. The two extremes sort of meet. They are the ones, and it's a tiny fraction, but it's just enough to skew this race, are going to say, oh, well, I'm going to vote for the America First guy. I don't like this wealthy California millionaire coming in. It's remarkable how susceptible the buffoons on the far right are to left-wing messaging and how comfortable they are with left-wingers like Tammy Baldwin winning elections. I mean, you can't possibly be so buffoonish as to think that your vote for buffoon/America First candidate Thomas Leaguer is doing anything but helping Tammy Baldwin, right? You can't possibly think that. But they do, apparently. Either that, or they're far more comfortable with Democrat rule. Either way, internal polling does show that this race is tied when you consider the presence of buffoon Thomas Leaguer in there. So we are going to add another wrinkle to Wisconsin's largest vote drive. If I just described a buffoon in your social circle, please don't call them a buffoon. Leave that to professionals like me. Just tell them, look, Leaguer's a fake candidate. He's funded by Dems. Don't vote for him. Hovde is the only chance we have to defeating Tammy Baldwin. And how about this? Hovde might be the linchpin. In fact, a lot of people think Hovde is the linchpin to getting Trump control of the United States Senate to actually pass his agenda. Remember, if Republicans don't win the Senate, if they don't get a 50% plus one majority, 51 votes in the Senate, Trump probably won't get a single, if he wins, mind you, I'm not counting my chickens here, but if Trump wins, he probably won't get a single cabinet position confirmed by the Senate ever. They just will not confirm. If you think I'm exaggerating, you don't know Democrats, folks. He won't get a single judge confirmed. I know a lot of people, a lot of good conservatives, a lot of good Republicans, myself included, but a whole lot of buffoons hated Mitch McConnell. That's another way you can spot the buffoons. It doesn't matter who the leader of the Republican Party is, they will eventually be despised. Just name a Republican leader going back to Grant. I think everybody likes Lincoln. There might be some buffoons who don't, and they will be despised for some reason or another among the buffoon wing. But McConnell got Trump to completely remake the federal judiciary. It wasn't just the Supreme Court, where Trump actually got 3 justices in 4 years, which is remarkable if you think about it. Obama got, 2 in 8 years? Who did he get? Sotomayor and Kagan, and that was it, right? George W. Bush got 3. Yeah, thanks to Mitch McConnell, because he refused to put up Merrick Garland following the death of Antonin Scalia, using the buffoon Joe Biden principle from 1992 that if a justice dies in an election year, we should let the American people decide and not fill that vacancy. Of course, Biden was talking about George H.W. Bush running for re-election. He said he actually got up on the floor of the Senate. It's a remarkable speech, and said, if there is a vacancy on the Supreme Court, we should not fill it in an election year because we should let the American people vote. So Mitch McConnell said, okay, Joe, we'll do that. George W. Bush got 3? He got Alito, he got Roberts, and I believe that was it. He got 2 justices in 8 years. It's remarkable that Trump got 3 in 4 years. Absolutely remarkable. They don't get the Senate. Republicans don't get the Senate. Doesn't happen. They don't confirm a single judge. They don't confirm a single cabinet position. everything Trump tries to do legislatively done. Now, fortunately, Republicans are favored to win the Senate, but Eric Hovde just might be in a close race nationally, as a lot of people think this still might be, might actually be the guy to put us at 51 senators. All right, we're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we name the unhinged liberal of the day. And this guy is so unhinged all the time, we could actually rename the award for him. I'm not kidding.
When the leaves turn orange, red, and yellow, you should be thinking green. Play the nationwide Full Fortune Cash Contest, powered by ARR Recycles, 9 times each weekday on News Talk 1130 WISN. And if you win the hourly prize of $1,000, you'll be stuffing your pockets with green.
The Fall Fortune Cash Contest is presented by ARR Recycles. Take your recyclable copper, brass, steel, and aluminum to ARR in West Dallas or Waukesha. ARR, where recycling pays.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out of pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
You got to get to Built Right today. Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built Right Furniture. I love them because they've got their own way of doing things. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Built Right actually buys lunch for their entire team every single Saturday, and they make it possible for all of their employees to be off at the same time each year for an Easter, summer, and winter vacation. Those are among the reasons that the 96-year-old locally and family-owned store was selected as the Home Furnishings Association Retailer of the Year in 2023. HFA's CEO says of the Built Right family, they do things for their team and they do things to respond to their customers. They know what works and they've stuck with it. Randy Kay, fourth generation, says it's our hard work, passion, and dedication. So get to Built Right during the final days of their 96th anniversary celebration and $1 million clearance sell-off. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services and host of the Design Your Yard Show. Do you live in a home with distinctive architectural charm? Maybe it's a classic Dutch colonial with a timeless gambrel roof, or a prairie-style home with sleek horizontal lines. We admire unique architecture and the beauty of its influence throughout our homes. But does your landscape reflect that same character? At Seasonal Services, we believe the beauty of your home's architecture shouldn't stop at the walls. It should flow outdoors into the landscape. Your outdoor space should embrace the architectural features you love. Since 1994, the architects at Seasonal Services have been blending personal style with architectural harmony. We design and craft outdoor environments that complement the beauty and the character of your home. If you're planning a landscaping project and want to honor your home's architectural charm, call Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or visit us online at seasonalservices.com.
I almost had it. Once again, I was this close to hitting my picks over at Prize Picks. Hey, I'm Benjamin Yant, and we've been playing daily fantasy over at Prize Picks for what, months now? I went in on Kyler Murray, and man, I just missed it. But that's the fun at Prize Picks, right? Your football knowledge can lead to a huge payday. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy app. Over 5 million active members. If you want to become one of those members, all you have to do is go online and download the Prize Picks app. Then you enter my code Radio11 and you start making your picks. You can get 100 times your money. That means $10 can become $1,000 just by picking more or less. That's all you do. Pick between 2 and 6 players and then pick more or less on whatever stat you're looking for. Download Prize Picks and use the code Radio11. You'll get $50 instantly when you play $5. You've got to be present in certain states, and visit prizepicks.com for the restrictions and details. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Vote her out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Coming up next hour, it's Friday. That means we have got the strangest stories of the past 7 days, a segment that we call How Bizarre. And I'll tell you what, does it get, I don't know about bizarre because it's Bubba being Bubba, but it's great seeing Bill Clinton unleashed on the campaign trail. It was vintage horn dog Bill yesterday. We will get to that and much, much more in the 10 o'clock hour here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. But first, it is time right now to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is in over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day could really be the unhinged liberal every day. He has gone from ranting and raving on an MSNBC show to ranting and raving on his Twitter account. Keith Olberman is not a fan of the owner of Twitter, Elon Musk. This week, the Department of Justice sent a note to Elon warning him that his giveaway of $1 million to swing state voters, it's a random drawing. All you have to do is to be a swing state voter and sign his petition. It has nothing to do with actually voting. It's a petition in support of the First Amendment principle of free speech, Second Amendment right to bear arms. It's just, hey, I support conservative principles. Olberman absolutely lost his you-know-what. Even more so than, like, on a normal night for Keith. He writes, "We need to arrest and detain at Elon Musk immediately. He is operating on behalf of Russia. Cancel all contracts. Seize his facilities. Lock him away in a military facility. Now at POTUS, not tomorrow." So yeah, Keith is handling Kamala's collapse in the polls pretty well, I would say, at least by Keith's standards. Keith Olberman, your unhinged liberal of the day. Today, in Wisconsin's largest early vote drive, we banked a grand total of 1,443 early votes. Now, this was from yesterday. We announced the total earlier in the show today. And yes, I have gotten just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of texts rolling in, emails to Facebook messages, all of that. You want to join? 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476. Email DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. We have now a 3-day total of 5,745 early votes. I am almost confident if I had been counting, I stopped the count. Like I am a clerk in a battleground state in 2020. I stopped the count at about 9 o'clock last night. the younger kids and I watched, the older son had a bunch of friends over, and the younger kids and I and my wife watched a Halloween movie. So that took precedence over staying up until midnight counting votes. So I stopped the count by about 9 p.m. and the totals are current through 9 p.m. Had I counted all of the votes that came in after that and up until today's start time of the show at 9:06, when obviously I can't count early votes anymore, we would have been over 6,000. 6,000 in 3 days. I have no doubt in my mind with just the sheer volume of text. And a reminder, folks, even when I'm not on the radio, I want you texting in. So there's going to be 3 days, pretty much 3 full days. The rest of the day starting at 11 o'clock today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday, where I'm not going to be on the radio, right? I am still going to be checking constantly. And each night I am going to be doing a nightly tally of how many early votes we got that day. I've actually got a system down now where I can do it in about a half hour to 45 minutes. The first day it took me easy an hour and 15, if not longer. I was going back to it. And I think now I've got a pretty good system going. So keep those early votes coming. Get people, now that all of you, 5,745 of you have already early voted, now your job is to get more people to the polls. We'll be back right after this.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. For a third straight day yesterday, labels which poll workers affixed to absentee ballot envelopes were taking as long as 15 minutes each to print. It remained unclear what the glitch was, but it involved use of WisVote, the state's voter registration database and election management system. WisVote provides information including voter names and addresses for the printed labels. Voters or election workers are permitted to print in that information by hand if it's necessary. A sales tax is on the way for Racine County. The county board approved the 0.5% sales tax last night. County leaders and supporters of the tax say it's necessary to fund public services in the county and cover a $5 million debt facing the county's sheriff's office. $2 million of that revenue will be allocated for property tax relief. The tax, which is projected to garner at least $20 million for the county, will take effect this coming April. Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Georgia with former President Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen yesterday. Obama mostly stuck to his stump speech in Atlanta, calling Trump a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems and whose speeches are word salad. Trump was campaigning in the West, holding a rally in Tempe, Arizona, before heading to Las Vegas for another rally. Checking the holiday automotive of Fond du Lac Sports scoreboard, in football, the Badgers prepare for Penn State Saturday night, and the Packers head to Jacksonville Sunday to face the Jaguars. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Hey, it's Dan O'Donnell from Mander Collision and Glass, which really is the best decision you can make after a collision. But don't just take my word for it. You hear me talk all the time about how great Mander is. Here's customer Melissa, who writes, "This is the second vehicle we have had repaired at Mander, and we will keep coming back anytime it's needed. They kept me updated every step of the way and took care of car rental details, so I was never without transportation. I had a question after I left, and everything was answered. They don't just send you off with a hearty handshake. They stand behind their work with a lifetime warranty, and customer service is absolutely top notch." That's right, Melissa, and that's why I have been recommending Mander and been a loyal Mander customer for so many years. Now with 7 locations to serve you. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com. Mander really is the best decision after a collision.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Showers ending this morning, starting off with clouds across the sky, but clouds will gradually decrease throughout the day today, giving us some sunshine by the afternoon. Highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s with a northwest wind about 10 to 15 miles an hour. I'm Fox 6 meteorologist Lisa Michaels.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center. For the first time ever, Lynch Truck Center is having a massive construction sale on over 400 in-stock trucks, which include Chevrolet, GMC, Kino, and Isuzu. You will not want to miss it. We're adding parking, 7 more truck bays, and expanded parts storage so we can better serve you, our customer. Did you know our experienced sales staff sold more Chevrolet medium-duty trucks and cab overs than all the other dealers in the state combined? With their knowledge on upfits, combined with our service department, we deliver turnkey vehicles for your business, including the right body for your application, bin packages, and even lettered when it's delivered right to your door. As a business owner, has managing your fleet grown into a full-time job? Our fleet department can help. We provide a free fleet analysis which guides you when to trade, help track expenses for maintenance, fuel, and even vehicle tracking. You'll be shocked on the money and time you can save, not to mention having new vehicles under warranty. Visit lynchtruckcenter.com and give us a shot. We won't disappoint you.
A lot of negative criticism has come from the fact that we voice our own radio ads. You sound unprofessional, you sound like you're from the UP, you sound like a couple of dopey farmers. Oh, the comments we've had.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
We don't want to sound like everybody else. We don't want to sound super professional. We want to sound like who we are, and this is who we are.
You know, I take things personally a lot faster than what you do. I get all bent out of shape about it, and you're just like, don't worry about it. That's just one person's opinion, you know. And in reality, you're right.
It's not about them liking us. It's about us being who we are.
You know, we want to have good furniture, goes into the home, makes for a happy customer for a long time. And at the same time, we want to have good employees. We want to take care of our employees. We want to support the local craftsmen so they can support their families and their communities. It's what we do.
See more at pennymustard.com.
Like us or hate us, it's what we do.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
I'm Julian Edelman.
I'm Rob Gronkowski.
Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. We're going to highlight players, and we're just going to sit here and talk about them. And we'll get into the types of dudes. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're going to find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Listen to Dudes on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Dudes on Dudes to start listening.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
This hour of the Dan O'Donnell Show is presented by the WISN Vote Early Project. Make your voice heard now. Early voting is open. Contact your municipal clerk for details.
Advice I have heard yet this campaign came from J.D. Vance. He was on the News Nation town hall with Chris Cuomo. I never thought in a million years I would see Chris Cuomo moderating an event with J.D. Vance and being respectful and asking good questions. I'm not sure. I think Chris Cuomo might be on the verge of being red-pilled. So J.D. Vance's best advice is something that's universal, something that's profound, something we will get to at 10:35. The best advice I can give you, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you are on a work computer, please do not search for dudes on dudes. I don't care what the advertising you constantly hear on iHeartRadio is. Do not search for dudes on dudes. If you are on a work computer under any circumstances, because I'm taking a wild guess, Rob Gronkowski and Julian Edelman's podcast is not the first thing that's gonna pop up. It is. Producer Dave literally just searched for dudes on dudes. On an iHeart computer, granted, and the podcast was the first thing that came up. I was going to say, do you dare scroll down? Right. I would absolutely not, and I would navigate away from that page as quickly as possible. If you would like a far more wholesome and family-friendly podcast where I can absolutely assure you there are no dudes on other dudes or dudes on anything else, please subscribe to the Dan O'Donnell Show podcast. Just judging by producer Dave's face in there, I say he definitely found the other results for dudes on dudes. You can find the Dan O'Donnell Show podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you can find podcasts not involving dudes on dudes. You know Gronkowski came up with that name himself after like pounding 5 natty lights. Yeah. Please do subscribe to our podcast, though, because it is a great way for corporate to see just how successful the show is, how big Dan Nation is getting. Trust me, folks, we have got the attention of people all across Wisconsin with the state's largest early vote drive. Our good friends at Wisconsin Watch, who wrote a big piece about me spreading disinformation and couldn't even get my basic biographical information right. They said in their opening, I talked to this student who they said this is about the most unethical thing I think I've ever seen happen to me. There's a kid who said, hey, Dan, you know, I'm doing a class project here and, you know, we're doing radio and it's a communications class. It's a journalism class. Can I interview you just about your career and all of that? I said, sure. Kid's name is Andrew Schneider. I have no problem talking to him. He's graduated. Nice kid, friendly kid. Turns out the head of this Wisconsin Watch hack organization that UW-Madison runs, Matthew DeFore, had Schneider reach out to me so that they could say they talked to me about this hit piece on talk radio and how talk radio spreads disinformation. Now, this is how good a journalist DeFore is. They talked to me on Super Bowl weekend. The piece just came out like 2 weeks ago. The only reason anybody knows that is because I talked about it and highlighted the fact. So they're setting up the piece. We talked with Dan O'Donnell right before the Super Bowl. In between him talking about his lifelong love for the Kansas City Chiefs, he sarcastically remarked that Biden didn't do the traditional pregame interview because he was too mentally incompetent. Yeah, that one aged well, Wisconsin Watch. Turns out I was probably right. But I am not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I don't mind being called a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Heck, I picked up DeAndre Hopkins on the fantasy football waiver wire. He just got dealt to the Chiefs. I'm feeling pretty good about that move. When I was a kid, I loved Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. So in addition to the Packers, who were terrible when I was a little boy, I rooted for the San Francisco 49ers. Like most little kids, you want to follow a team in the playoffs and, you know, bask in the glow of their championship. So I was always a Niners fan. Niners were playing the Chiefs. They just got it wrong. But, of course, I'm the one who spreads disinformation. They actually reached out to me about the state's largest early vote drive, and they said, just to be accurate, You got 2,600 early votes on the first day, right? Said, sure as hell did. We now have 5,745 early votes banked amongst members of Dan Nation, our listener army that has been storming the polls for the first 3 days of in-person early voting. We had 1,443 early votes yesterday, and they are pouring in today. We do have an update about all of the issues. Folks, it wasn't just that there were so many people early voting the first 3 days. It was so slow because the Wisconsin Elections Commission has proven itself yet again to be thoroughly incompetent. It was a system failure with the WEC system that essentially prints the name, address, and information stickers on the ballot envelopes and actually logs the votes. So the clerks were themselves able to log the votes, but the state system kept crashing. There wasn't enough server space. That was due in large part because of the flood of early votes. We have an update now. WEC is going to reset its servers at 10 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m. each day so that it can essentially restart. What they found yesterday and the day before was that early in the day, the servers worked fine, but then as there were more and more and more people coming in, they sort of melted down. This, I should point out, has not impacted the vote. It has impacted sort of the logging of the votes, which is much slower, but it is still getting done. Your vote is still completely safe. Remember, your vote isn't actually cast until Election Day. It just sits there in a locked, secured, hopefully locked and secured location. If it's not, raise hell with your municipal clerk and contact a Republican Party attorney. But the issue is apparently not resolved. And what they're going to do, this is what a horrible IT department will tell you in corporate America. Well, have you tried restarting the computer? Have you tried turning it off or maybe unplugging it and then starting it up again? Yeah, this is the 21st century equivalent, Dave, of blowing into the Nintendo game cartridge to get it to work, which was surprisingly effective. I mean, I can't tell you how many times first you blow into the game, and then if that doesn't work, you blow into the system itself to get everything working again. It was remarkable. We were like 8-year-old engineers back in the late 80s, early 90s, because we figured that stuff out on our own as kids. 414-799-1130 is the AdventNews.com talk and text line. Reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me and let me know you early voted. Let me know who you brought with you. DOD@iHeartMedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, or Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. How bad are things going for Democrats and their allies in the media right now? Mika Brzezinski, Mrs. Morning Joe, had a meltdown live on the air.
This is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us. He is putting us at risk. He is making us afraid to have babies. He is putting our reproductive health at risk, and some women have died already because of this.
I'm sorry. It is just a beautiful thing to watch. They were nervous in 2020, folks, but they had a quiet confidence. We're going to win. All the election models say we're going to win. They don't have that right now. They are in utter panic, especially since the last New York Times Siena College poll released this morning. Interestingly enough, they are releasing the polls about a week and a half before Election Day. Usually they release them like a day or two early. It'll be next Friday, not this Friday, but whatevs. That shows Trump with a 1-point lead in the full field ballot. In just the head-to-head matchup, which, of course, it's not a head-to-head matchup, it's tied. Ultimately, while the national popular vote isn't totally irrelevant, it's the swing states that matter. Would you believe that Decision Desk HQ, Very, very good election site. I actually work with them on election days to try to get, numbers out. And it's just a very, very good team of people. Decision Desk HQ took RealClearPolling.com's average of not just the most recent polls in the swing states, but every single poll that they had done between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. 60-some Pennsylvania polls. Do you know what they found? In every single swing state, in the average of every poll that has been done this election cycle, Donald Trump is winning. Now, it might be 0.2%, which I believe is his margin in Wisconsin. But remember, this is when polls were showing here in Wisconsin, Harris up 4, Harris up 5. Some were showing Harris up 7. Every single poll that's been averaged out shows a Donald Trump lead in every single swing state. And it's not just that. Kristen Welker on Meet the Press Daily over on MSNBC.
A new CNBC poll shows a tight race between former President Trump and Vice President Harris in key battlegrounds, as well as nationally, with both results well within the margin of error. And it comes as the vice president's favorability ratings are eroding. She's now underwater by 10 points, while the former president's favorability rating is rising, although he also remains underwater. It also comes as voters say they prefer Mr. Trump on their top issue, the economy, and that they'd be better off financially under his leadership, not hers.
Yikes. So what can the Democrats do? Clearly, people do not like Kamala Harris, and in fact, the more they get to know her, the more they dislike her. Let's release the big dogs. Barack Obama hitting the campaign trail. Michelle Obama hitting the campaign trail. But there is no bigger dog, and I mean that in multiple senses of the word, than Bubba himself, Bill Clinton, who has been an absolute joy to follow on this trail. His latest is calling Kari Lake hot when urging voters to cast their ballots for Ruben Gallego in that Arizona Senate race.
You've got a person that grew up under sometimes challenging circumstances, who made something of his life running against someone who is physically attractive but believes that politics is a performance art.
You know Bubba could not resist. No, Dave, that was not necessary at all. He just, it's someone who's physically attractive. Let me tell you, I'd take her to this battleground. There's a very bad joke in there about the polls, but I am far too mature to make it. Now, Bubba also said what Democrats privately fear, that because Kamala parachuted into this race late without having to face the rigors of a contested primary, she is especially vulnerable.
But about 45% of the people think he can do no wrong, and they don't care if we save our democracy or not.
By the way, does that not sound almost identical to Romney's 47% remark? There are 47% of people in this country who are just never going to vote for a Republican. And this was, oh my God, the worst thing ever.
So there is a sliver there that has to make up their mind. And to them, Kamala Harris just showed up. I mean, she was there as vice president. And what they think of her largely depends on what they think of President Biden. But she is extremely vulnerable, more vulnerable than she deserves to be, through crazy attacks.
One thing I can't get over is how halting and frail Bubba sounds. Dave. My producer doesn't even miss a beat. He goes, syphilis will do that to you. That is Dave Michaels at iHeartMedia.com. If you would like to, no, you're not wrong, but you don't say the quiet part out loud, Dave. Okay, technically I did. If you want to, send hate mail or kudos for making a pretty darn good joke. But Bubba has been just nonstop entertainment since he first hit the campaign trail. When he was talking about Laken Riley, the young lady in Georgia who was tragically and brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant who was allowed into this country and allowed freely to move about even after committing crimes in New York, getting all the way down to Georgia. He said, oh, yeah, by the way, Laken Riley would still be alive if Biden and Harris did their jobs.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up. Okay. So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. There wouldn't be a problem.
Bill really wanted to say, America's not making enough babies. Ladies, I can help you make more babies. The 10 o'clock word in the full Fortune Cash contest is deposit. 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 You have got until 55 past the hour, still a half hour to go to our website, enter the keyword deposit to enter the contest for this hour. We are going to switch things up very, very slightly. We are not going to do How Bizarre in the next segment. I want to make sure to get to this J.D. Vance soundbite from the News Nation town hall because it is remarkably profound. I also want to talk about Milwaukee land and party to the polls. All that is coming up next right here in the Dan O'Donnell Show. Then after that, we'll do How Bizarre.
For U.S. Senate, career politician Tammy Baldwin wasted trillions of dollars and created crushing inflation. Baldwin opened our borders and gave taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants, and she voted to put men in girls' sports. Businessman Eric Hovde will stop inflation, secure our border, and defend our Wisconsin values.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built Right Furniture. It's the final days of Built Right's 96th anniversary mattress celebration. Their one location saves you time and saves you money. They make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box national or local chain store, department store, employee free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right has the best value, selection, service, and experience team in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands made in the USA. Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses that hold up to 600 pounds. Built Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
Thinking about a remodeling project? Tune in this Sunday morning at 9 a.m. to Nick the Construction Guru. We'll be talking about all the advantages of using a good design-build company and the importance of a good design on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Hi, this is Nick from Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer. And if you want to sell your house fast for cash, contact us today. We are a local family business, A+ with the BBB, and we always treat you right. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com to get your fair as-is cash offer today.
With Cybersecurity Awareness Month winding down, LifeLock wants to remind you to update your software. These updates are used to patch up security issues that identity thieves can exploit to gain access to your personal info. But for comprehensive identity theft protection, there's LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to more uses of your personal info and fixes identity theft issues that arise. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use my name as your promo code, Clay.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Are you going to Milwaukee Land tomorrow? Milwaukee Land. Brand new amusement park. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Milwaukee Land. Instead of, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, we've got a streetcar that goes about half a mile an hour. Instead of Autopia, we've got the Kia Boys Racing Simulator. No, Milwaukee Land is not a poor imitation of Disneyland. It is a free concert featuring Lil Uzi Vert. If you don't know who Lil Uzi Vert is, the kids like him. He is a very, very popular multi-platinum selling rapper. He actually closed out Summerfest this year, and he's coming back for a free concert called Milwaukee Land that is going to feature a half pipe for skateboarding and all sorts of other stuff. Food, let's see, what do they say? Nail art, streetwear, gaming, mini golf, Milwaukee's best food trucks, and barbers at Milwaukee Land. Take that, Epcot. May be able to go around the world, but I bet you can't get a fade. Why are they doing this? Why, to entice people to vote, of course. Where is this going on? 700 West State Street. Now, why do you suppose this is going on? Right there. There just happens to be an early vote location at MATC. So they are trying to entice people to go to the polls with a free concert featuring Lil Uzi Vert. If that name sounds super weird, say it fast to yourself. Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert. Lucifer. It's a takeoff of that. He has a lot of, demonic references and imagery in some of his videos. Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert. Dave thought it was Lil Uzi Pervert. No, I don't. So if he goes to one of the barbers and gets a perm, he would be Lil Uzi Permvert. There is also another event featuring, now that's going to be tomorrow, 10 a.m., and you can get your tickets. By the way, I would encourage you, if you are a Dan O'Donnell Show listener, a member of Dan Nation in good standing, not Damn Nation, that's for Lil Uzi Vert. If you are a member of Dan Nation, stop on by, show up, and see if they're actually giving people stuff for free voting. Because this is Rock the Vote, the national organization that MTV has been running forever. And what they're saying, or at least attempting to say, is that, well, we're not giving people something in direct exchange for voting. Well, you're getting them to the polls with the promise of a free skateboarding half pipe, free nail art, streetwear, food trucks, barbers, mini golf, and all of that. Is that election bribery? Certainly election bribery adjacent. Remember, they are threatening to lock up Elon Musk for holding a raffle and giving away $1 million a day to people who just happen to live in swing states and sign his petition. They want to lock him up. Lil Uzi Vert is probably going to get locked up at some point in his life, but I'm taking a wild guess it'll be for drug possession and not election bribery. Meanwhile, Party to the Polls is going on Sunday. Now, that features Kerry Washington. No word on whether she is going to rap. It also has food trucks, same basic principle. You come out, you early vote, you get to meet Kerry Washington, the actor. You get to have free food truck food. It's a big party. Is this election bribery? It is certainly election bribery adjacent. If there is any contingency where you need to vote in order to get anything of value, it absolutely is. Once again, I am urging you, my listeners, show up, take videos, see if you can find if anybody is attempting to engage in election bribery. Let me know. You can email. Sources are always fully protected. And if you happen to catch election bribery going on, let me know about it, and you'd better believe that I will refer it to the proper law enforcement channels. J.D. Vance said quite possibly the most profound thing that I have heard this election cycle. And we apparently do not have that soundbite ready. The J.D. Vance soundbite? Yeah, somehow it went away. I have no idea where it went. J.D. Vance was on a News Nation town hall with Chris Cuomo, of all people. Still blows my mind that Cuomo is sounding more like he's obviously not. He's still a Democrat and always will be. He's from one of the most prominent Democrat families of the 20th century. But he is, I think, seen the error of his ways and is trying to rebrand himself as a fair and honest journalist. And he has actually said some things that make me think he's had his fill of the far left. He hosted this town hall, and J.D. Vance said something that I think all of us, conservatives and liberals, mostly liberals though, should keep in mind as the election gets closer and passions get more inflamed.
One of the things I've seen, especially from, some of my wife's friends and some of my friends, is if they disagree with us on politics sometimes, they'll get very personal about it. And if you're discarding a lifelong friendship because somebody votes for the other team, then you've made a terrible, terrible mistake and you should do something different. Like, don't cast aside. Like, most of my family obviously is going to vote for, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And if they're not, actually, I need to talk to them. But I've got friends who, like me personally, acquaintances who aren't necessarily going to vote for me. That doesn't make them bad people. And we can't, this is my most important advice, whether you vote for me, whether you vote for Donald Trump, whether you vote for Kamala Harris, don't cast aside family members and lifelong friendships. Politics is not worth it. And I think if we follow that principle, we'll heal the divide in this country.
Absolutely true. I think everybody listening to that knows someone who they have either lost touch with, someone whose relationship has been strained over politics. It's just not worth it. Liberals are, and every study confirms this, by the way, far more likely to unfriend people either on social media or in real life over political disagreements than conservatives are. But conservatives are as well. Folks, the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It really is the most wonderful time of the year to spend with family and friends. Don't let an election come between you and the people you love. Strangest stories of the past 7 days. Our weekly segment, How Bizarre, is next. Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch-certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires, it's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Hey, you smell. That's right, you still smell that urine in your house. Urine odor isn't just offensive to the nose, it's a health hazard. The other thing that stinks? Nothing works. Until now. At Steam Dry Carpet Cleaning, we save our customers thousands in carpet replacement, and if it's not all gone, you don't pay.
Call 414-479 $99.99. Steam Dry. PhDandClean.com. Steam Dry.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If you could spend 1 month anywhere, where would you go?
Easy. I'd go to bed.
I mean, anywhere in the world.
Precisely.
You'd spend the entire month in bed?
Specifically, a new Tempur-Pedic from Hasselus Mattress.
Why?
Because I can take 60 months to pay for it. Through Monday, get 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card.
60 months. That means...
You can buy a Queen Tempur-Pedic Pro Adapt Hybrid with ease adjustable base for just $74 a month.
And I get a $300 MasterCard gift card.
Free next day delivery and employee-free showrooms, too.
So I can try and buy...
With no pushy sales guy.
Hang on.
What are you doing?
Searching for a travel agent to book a month-long vacation at Hasselus Mattress.
Enjoy 60 months interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedics through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
In today's world, energy security means more than just keeping the lights on. It's about making America stronger by reducing our dependence on foreign oil. Ethanol helps fuel our nation's energy security. Made right here in America, ethanol keeps gas prices lower. It's renewable, reliable, and helps create American jobs. On Election Day, join us in choosing candidates who support ethanol and the Renewable Fuel Standard. Paid for by the Renewable Fuels Association.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
I am a Ronald Reagan conservative. Never voted for a Democrat, but we've never faced a threat like this before. What Donald Trump is proposing in terms of withdrawing from NATO, welcoming Vladimir Putin to attack our NATO allies, praising President Xi of China, America will find our very freedom and security challenged and threatened. It's a risk we just simply can't take as a nation. The world needs us to be better. Our own freedom requires that we have a president who understands America has to lead, and that our strength comes both from our greatness and also from our goodness, and that's Vice President Harris. As Vice President, as Senator, as Attorney General, if she's somebody that I know will put the good of this country first. Wisconsin, I ask you to help us elect Kamala Harris for president.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
Bob Tarantino here for EasyHomeBidder.com. A 62 Ferrari sold for $52 million and a 1955 Mercedes sold for $142 million, with both buyers and sellers excited to win. Want to win selling your home? Want to win buying your home? Only EasyHomeBidder.com guarantees maximum sales exposure and maximum buying opportunity. Sell or buy real estate. Your big win is waiting at EasyHomeBidder.com. That's EasyHomeBidder.com. Real estate for winners. EasyHomeBidder.com. That's EasyHomeBidder.com.
Thank you, WISN listeners, for trusting your car repairs to Engine and Transmission Exchange. ETE has 2 locations with A-plus ratings from the Better Business Bureau. One is on South 27th Street in Milwaukee, the other on West Avenue in Waukesha, and they work on any make or any model. See EngineTrans.com for details. Engine and Transmission Exchange.
Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Joe Brown for the Safe Money and Income Radio Show on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Welcome to Ram Power Days at Five Corners. Hi, it's Roman Weininger bringing you exciting news on the biggest savings ever. Savings with rebates and discounts on award-winning new Ram trucks. Get $10,000 off on new Ram 1500 4x4 on select models. New Jeep Grand Cherokee, $8,000 off. And new Wrangler, up to $7,000 off. Get select 0% financing or 3.9 for 72 months on select models. Best special financing on new Grand Cherokee and new Wagoneer. Five Corners is celebrating 84 years servicing small, medium, and big trucks. Trucks are us at Five Corners. Visit us today, Highway 60, Cedarburg. Financing is approved credit and subject to down payment.
Verneri award-winning home renovating.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
It is that time of the week where we step aside from the politics, step aside from the serious stories that we normally cover, and instead focus on the silly, the strange, the stories that make us scratch our heads and say,
how bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Doesn't get stranger than this. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada will significantly reduce the number of new immigrants it allows into the country after acknowledging that his government failed to get the balance right coming out of the pandemic. No, I'm serious. That they are not just going to keep importing people into Canada. Doesn't get stranger, folks. Someone, by the way, has seen some internal polling that absolutely terrified him. Trudeau's Liberal government was criticized for its plan to allow 500,000 new permanent residents into the country in each of the next 2 years. He said yesterday, though, next year's target will now be 395,000 new permanent residents, and that the figure will drop to 380,000 in 2026 and 365,000 in 2027. He says immigration is essential for Canada's future, but it must be controlled and must be sustainable. Trudeau, who is facing calls from within his own party not to seek a fourth term, has endured mounting criticism over his immigration policies and the negative impact that population growth has had on housing affordability. Hey, so wait a second. I know Canada is a much smaller country than the United States. But are you saying that importing a whole lot of new people who need housing increases the cost of housing? I wonder if that same thing might be happening here.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
An anti-Israel TikToker who filmed herself in a viral video ripping down flags outside of a restaurant in New Jersey has now been arrested. Amber Matthews, who's 23 years old, she goes by Ambamelia on TikTok, ripped down the flags in the city of Montclair. She posted the video of the incident on October 15th. The restaurant's owner had reported that incident back in March, so she waited quite a while to post the video. She has now been arrested. Why is this story and how bizarre? Because it wasn't an Israeli flag at all. This was a Greek restaurant, and it was a Greek flag. Now, the Israeli flag, like the Greek flag, is blue and white. It has two blue stripes on top of the six-pointed star, the symbol of Judaism. The Greek flag has blue and white stripes with a cross in the upper left-hand corner of the flag. In other words, the symbol of Christianity. I don't believe it actually is in the Greek flag, but it doesn't get more different than that. So way to go, Ambamelia, for showing your anti-Semitism by actually displaying Spartanism? Anti-Athenianism?
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Do you remember when the city of San Francisco cleaned up its entire homeless population, at least along a several block stretch where Chinese Prime Minister or President Xi Jinping was in town for a visit? Well, the city of New Orleans did that too. for an even more feared and powerful dictator. Taylor Swift. In anticipation of 3 Taylor Swift concerts in New Orleans, could draw 150,000 people to the Bourbon City, state authorities on Wednesday began clearing up a nearby homeless encampment. Roughly 75 people who are living in tents beneath an overpass are going to be relocated roughly 2 blocks away, said the Louisiana State Police, so that the Swifties don't have to look at the Stinkies. Advocates said the sweep would disrupt progress in finding long-term permanent housing for those affected. Other people without shelter living in the historic tourist-dependent French Quarter neighborhood would also be moved to the same location.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Hug it out, but quick. In New Zealand, which is about the furthest place from everywhere else in the world, sees a whole lot of emotional farewells at its airport. Unless you're going to Australia, you're in for a pretty doggone long plane ride, right? So these emotional farewells are a common sight at the airport in the New Zealand city of Dunedin or Dunedin. They'll now have to be quick, though. A new 3-minute time limit on goodbye hugs in the airport's drop-off area is intended to prevent lingering cuddles from causing traffic jams. Signs worn outside the terminal. Max hug time 3 minutes, adding that those seeking fonder farewells should head to the airport's parking lot instead. The cuddle cap has been imposed to keep things moving smoothly in the redesigned passenger drop-off area outside the airport, the CEO says. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your weekly look back at the strangest stories of the past 7 days here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. It's a segment we call
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
If you're someone who hears love and thinks about a quarterback instead of romance, you're primed to listen to Green Bay Grapevine on WISN. Before and after every game, hard-boiled reporter Mark Daniels tells Jay Weber and his morning show audience about all of the trends and subtleties swirling around the green and gold.
Green Bay Grapevine is presented by Bob's Glass in Waukesha, featuring installation of glorious glass shower doors. If it's anything glass, think Bob's Glass. Bobs-glass.com.
You got to get to Built Right today. Dan O'Donnell here for my amazing friends at Built Right Furniture. I love them because they've got their own way of doing things. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Built Right actually buys lunch for their entire team every single Saturday. And they make it possible for all of their employees to be off at the same time each year for an Easter, summer, and winter vacation. Those are among the reasons that the 96-year-old locally and family-owned store was selected as the Home Furnishings Association Retailer of the Year in 2023. HFA's CEO says of the Built Right family, they do things for their team and they do things to respond to their customers. They know what works and they've stuck with it. Randy Kay, 4th generation, says it's our hard work, passion, and dedication. So get to Built Right during the final days of their 96th anniversary celebration and $1 million clearance sell-off. Tell them Dan sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton in Greenfield.
It's a month of magic at the Sawmill Restaurant and Pub in Richfield, where magician and illusionist Kirkpatrick will be on hand to amaze and entertain every Sunday from 11 to 1. Just take the Holy Hill exit from Highway 41, turn west, then take a right at Wolf Road. You'll see the Sawmill just around the bend on your left.
Sendix is doing the extraordinary, offering a free gift card on Saturday, October 26th at any of Sendix 14 area supermarkets. Purchase a $100 gift card using your Red Bag Rewards number and get a $15 gift card free. A free $15 gift card you can give as a gift or use it to buy that special seafood item, bottle of wine, or home decor item. A one-of-a-kind customer celebration, a free Sendix gift card. This Saturday only at any of Sendix 14 area stores. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Vote her out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys, accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well, and they showcase their made-in-America firearms. Now, Henry's are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction. Made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are. henryusa.com, a great American company.
Domestic violence is commonly framed as a crime issue, but it's also a public health issue. On this afternoon's latest Word on Medicine, Dr. Kimberly Getze from the Medical College of Wisconsin will explore the issues associated with intimate partner violence, including enhanced screening to detect and identify these violent acts. The latest Word on Medicine, today at 2 on WISN.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
When the Scoops have a midnight jamboree, they break it up with a fiendish glee.
Both are bad, but the one that's cursed
is the headless horseman, he's the worst. When he goes jogging across the land, holding his noggin right in his hand, demons take one look and grow.
Then they hit the road for parts unknown. I'm a hip-hop.
Headless horseman,
hip-hop.
Headless horseman,
hip-hop.
Headless horseman, some don't even bother to wear their skin. Headless horseman, headless horseman, headless horseman.
I'll show them that I can get
Well, there's a
This is sort of the O'Donnell family Halloween anthem. It is the DJ Kid Casino remixing K-Star and her orchestra doing the Headless Horseman from the Disney cartoon Ichabod, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow part of that. It's something of a tradition in our family to watch the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which the kids have called since they were very, very young, just Headless Horseman. Dad, can we watch Headless Horseman? I watched it when I was a little kid, so we watch it every single year. Now we got to sort of coordinate schedules between soccer and violin and all of that stuff, friends and girlfriends, but it is a tradition. We always do it. Probably this weekend we're going to do a couple of Halloween parties. We're going to, of course, the neighborhood trick-or-treat is always fun, and it's going to be a fun one. I will remind you, please do be safe this weekend. Halloween weekend is one of the biggest for just things to go bad when you're out. Please don't drink and drive, especially if you are going around and you're pounding a few back while you're taking the kids trick-or-treating, and then you go drive. You got to go pick something up from the store. Be very careful because there are kids walking around. A lot of neighborhoods, a lot of cities do trick-or-treating in the dark, so just be careful. That's my message. to you, and get out there and early vote. Take the next couple of days. If there is early voting in your community, we do expect that the numbers are going to go down in Wisconsin's largest early vote drive over the next couple of days. Saturday and Sunday, a lot of communities just do not have the same weekend hours that Milwaukee and Madison do. They don't have the staff. Frankly, they don't have the work ethic or willingness that Milwaukee and Madison do to turn out as many votes as humanly possible. The elections commissions, the elections offices in Dane County, the clerk's offices in Dane County and Milwaukee County, they exist to turn out as many Democrat votes as possible. That was beyond apparent in 2020. Anyone remember fraud in the park? Speaking of fraud, lest you think it does not exist, we have some breaking news from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. This is southern Pennsylvania, I believe southwest Pennsylvania. It's about 500,600,000 people there. Apparently, the Lancaster County Board of Elections and the Lancaster County District Attorney have uncovered a vote fraud ring. Press release just issued. Board of Elections staff members identified and contained incidents of voter registration fraud. Election staff and the district attorney's office are currently assessing the nature and volume of the fraud. Suspected fraudulent voter registration forms were dropped off at the Board of Elections office in 2 batches at or near the deadline for submission. There are approximately 2,500 voter registration applications total in these 2 batches. Concerns were raised during the staff's normal process to review and enter applications. So these weren't fraudulent ballots per se, they were fraudulent voter registrations. Now there's a press conference going on right now, and unfortunately we're about a minute from ending the show, so I have no idea the nature of this, but I can guess, and I can guess which political party this would have benefited. The best thing I can tell you is to stay vigilant. If you see something at the polls that doesn't seem quite right, contact the Republican Party. Let me know about it. Whatever it is, let somebody know so that it can be investigated. But lest you think that Republicans in the Trump campaign are going to make the same mistakes that they did in 2020 and just assume that Democrats were going to run an election fairly and, do everything on the up and up, they are not. They understand that you need to be watching for every possible trick in the book. And to that end, you can do your part. Stop on by the polling place. Don't just, vote and leave. Hang out. See what's going on. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween weekend, everybody.